Welcome to Chaotically Nerdy, a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults, for adults, and for children with bad parents. Adult language will be used, and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised.
I guess I messed up two of them, so now you get one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. On today's episode, you have me, Tyler. You also have
Jarrett.
and the other one.
Ethan.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Oh.
I mean, Ashley does, but nobody else does.
That's all that really
Like I
matters.
said, everybody gets one.
That's all that really counts.
It's one. Nah. It's not.
Not everybody gets
If
one.
we got one view per week, then yes, it would be the only one that matters because she's like 8 episodes behind.
Yeah, shame on you, Ashley.
Yeah. Traitor. She may be caught up by the time this one comes out.
That'd,
okay,
be,
I'm
that'd
like-
be even funnier.
How many episodes are you behind?
I think like 30 something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so all of them.
You know
25.
why? I can give you a reason because I have to listen to us say it in this room. I then go to my house and edit it and listen to us say the same shit again. I'm not going to do it a third time.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's okay.
My brain just can't handle it.
You don't have to.
3 strikes, you're out. My brain can only handle so much stupid, and it's 2 of them.
Well, I mean, like, just don't go watch the original, like, PC parts one. Like, build a PC one, because
Yeah.
it's at 69 views now.
Yeah, nobody watched that.
Yeah, you
Watch this one because this is the updated one.
Yeah.
Build a PC in 2023
Yeah.
will be the title more than likely. And then it'll probably still get views in 2024.
Probably.
Meh.
That is the way the internet works.
So if you didn't catch that, today we're going to talk about all the updates on building a PC. So there's been new cards announced.
And are out.
Oh, they're out now?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
GPUs are out.
I thought that was pre-order whenever I looked at it. a
Nope,
minute ago.
they're out.
No, it's back order now.
It's back order, yeah, like you said.
I
It's
mean,
back order.
New CPUs, are they out yet?
I actually don't know.
No. Maybe?
As we hear the phone lift and he starts searching.
You heard the phone lift?
I did, because he had it like sitting there, and the way he did it, he picked it up.
Oh.
I heard it.
Fuck.
And then we're going to talk about AMD. They decided to do some changes. Not changes. They decided to fix their GPUs to finally be better than NVIDIA's.
The answer is at least the Ryzen CPUs are out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try the Intel ones.
Okay. And realistically, unfortunately, I have to recommend going and listening to the first Build a PC because we actually break down all the parts.
Yeah.
We talk about RAM, we talk about motherboards, power supplies. My brain went blank as far as what else you had to have. Fans. We talk about stupid shit that we really didn't have to talk about. But it helps to know all those parts. We kind of even made a breakdown of some. Now, granted, the prices will be outdated
Sure. And the parts.
and the parts. So we're not going to redo that unless you have any prepared, Jarrett, which I don't think you do.
No, I don't.
So basically, you can go to PC Part Picker and make your own.
Yeah,
It's pretty hard to fuck up at this point.
it is.
Yeah, and the PC parts are actually still down right now, price wise, for most of them. Like the newer
say
GPUs and
that.
stuff.
Pretty much everything but GPUs.
Yeah.
Everything but GPUs are still down, which is nice for if you're like upgrading your RAM or upgrading your storage. It's really, really nice right now.
Yep.
So if you're going to upgrade everything but the really important stuff just to make it work better, it's a really good time for that. Turn of the year here, the end of the year.
Yeah. You got your Christmas money. Guess what? Spend it on PC parts.
Mm-hmm.
Or your family built you a PC and it's really shitty.
Yeah. Replace that RAM. Get that M.2.
Yeah.
That stuff is fantastic.
I still need one of those.
You don't have one?
You
No.
fucking plebeian.
God.
I have
Stone Age right there.
I know. I have 3 SSDs.
You're just like loading up. It still takes you 10 seconds.
Yeah, it still takes 10 seconds. I turn on my computer and walk away, and it's there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I hit the power button. It goes bing on.
I wake up and it turns on. It's like, oh, hello.
Planting a microchip in your brain so that way whenever you're awake, your computer's awake.
I mean, it's nice.
I imagine it is,
really
but
nice.
it has never bothered me enough to be like, I need to do this and move everything over. When I build a new computer, that's when I will.
That makes sense.
The M.2, the frame rates are better. The load times in game are significantly less, if not existent.
I've never had, I mean, even with SSD, I've never had that issue.
Not that you've noticed until you've used an M.2.
It's true.
I agree. I mean, I understand that because it's the same thing of like the console versus PC debate. Because people will say, "Oh, well,
It's not a real debate, is it? It's not
to
really.
us, it's not because we've played that. Well, I mean, we've
But until
played
you've
both.
used it, it's not.
Exactly.
You don't know that you're missing out until you've
Yes.
used
The people are like, I don't need to spend that much money on a PC. My $300 console, which now you can't buy a console for $300.
You can.
But what console are you buying for $300?
Xbox Series X, you can get it for $189.
It's even worse.
It's like being in crappy
worse,
relationships until you actually experience like real love for the first time, and then it's like, oh, those others kind of sucked.
What you said that made it sound like parents didn't love you.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
Romantic love.
It's not. It shouldn't be the same. Romantic love and parent love should not be the same. If they are, you have a problem.
It's true.
Yeah. Probably genetically.
Somewhere down the line, some chromosomes got crossed.
Oh yeah.
Some DNA strands got a little extra crossed.
It's like your own. You are your own twin. It's like. Ugh.
What?
That made me think of where like a 20-year-old started dating this like 50-year-old who has a daughter his age,
Yeah.
and they got married. So his stepdaughter was their age. Well, the dad went on a date with the stepdaughter and fell in love with her. So they got married. So his dad was now his son-in-law.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Yeah,
And-
that's not good.
The son-in-law, the daughter's mother was now her
Daughter-in-law. Or mother. Wait, no. Just,
stepmother-in-law.
yeah.
No,
Daughter-in-law.
yes, stepdaughter-in-law. Stepdaughter. It was just stepdaughter. Her mother was her stepdaughter. Exactly.
This is like Game of Thrones plot.
And then they
I
had
can't follow it. I
and then
can't
they
follow
both
it.
had babies.
Oh,
So
God.
then it was like,
That's really confusing.
yeah.
You're related.
One of them was a grandchild and a brother.
think they're, well, no, I don't know. It's weird. That's really weird.
It's real fucking
You're
weird.
related. We don't know how.
Suffice to say, consoles suck.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck we got on this conversation. Thanks, Tyler.
Because chaotically nerdy.
I'm not sure that's nerdy. It's just
It's chaotic.
it's just called incest. I mean,
It's chaotic.
yeah.
So I guess let's finally actually get on topic and talk
Sure.
about NVIDIA released the 4000 series.
Mm-hmm.
Did they release a 4070,
Not
4060? So it's just 4080 and 4090. Did they do a TI with
Nope.
the 4090? So just 4090 and 4080.
Not yet.
When they do, it'll be, you know,
Ridiculous.
Well, they ran into
7.
some problems with the 4090s. So
Yeah.
we can talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I haven't heard the problems with, it's probably not going to be a problem for 4080 because the power draw is not 600 watts. That might have been the fucking dead giveaway there. There might have been a problem.
what it's going to come to a point you're going to need 2 like PSUs just to run your computer.
Yeah.
Not only you need two PSUs, you'll need a dedicated breaker
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
PC. Anyway,
God,
if
I
you
don't want that.
Yeah, if you don't know, the 4090s take 600 watts. So instead of, you know, having 4 what the hell?
Prongs.
Well, no, I'm trying to think of the actual word of the connector. I think it's I forgot. The 4 connector, the regular connector.
4 pin?
Yeah, it's the regular connector for
The keystones?
for
That's what they would be the little pieces would be called.
I'm talking about the actual connector.
Oh, okay.
It's a PSU connector. I don't know.
Yeah.
Supplemental power connector, whatever it's called. I forget. That, you know, you have 1, 2, 3. I think the 3090s had like 3 of them on there. So each one of those cables can only hold 150 watts. So they were like, we'll make a new connector that can hold 600 watts. And then they started catching on fire.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually because of the way they're made,
Set up.
they're constructed.
Well, it sounds like they actually contain like a washing machine in there. That's how much power they're drawing.
For the price of 3 washing machines, you can get a 4090.
Yeah.
So if you get a 4090 with a 12 volt high power connector,
Don't use it.
don't use that one. Use a right angle one from like Cable Mod or somebody or something else. Also, definitely don't use like a converter. Not a converter. Yeah,
Extender.
not extender. I was trying to think. That also don't use those.
Yeah, that would be not.
Yeah,
That
you
would be
shouldn't use
really
those
bad.
anyway.
No.
No, you can use an extend like power extender, but like
It
for
depends
this,
on how much power is going
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this because
don't
you
like
know.
No.
Those are even worse, apparently. If you're using like a 12 volt high power connector cable that goes right from your graphics card to your PSU, which you would need a 3.0 ATX 3.0 power supply to do that. Even those connectors were catching on fire and stuff. But
Have you heard whether they're having issues with like the vertical seats for them, like so that you don't have them weighing down because they're so big now, they're not
No.
weighing down. And
Fuck,
like,
even on my 2080, I put a like stand
Yeah.
to help hold it
bracket,
up.
yeah.
Well, they
sag
have
bracket.
they have vertical ones now, so
vertical
they're
mount.
not hanging off
Yeah.
the thing. They have a different. They have the actual connector from the port on the motherboard. They have like a little ribbon port that you can port
yeah.
over.
Riser cable, yeah, to a
Yeah.
vertical mount. The 4090, actually, this is just the Founders Edition because it's a 3.5 slot card.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually have that much sag because it's actually secured with 3.5
Yeah.
Slots.
slots.
Yeah.
Any of the aftermarket ones, I heard there's still a bunch of sag because you know they're like the entire width of the entire length of your
And they weigh
case.
15 pounds.
They
Yeah,
weigh
I
a
mean,
bunch,
Not really. It's an exaggeration, but
but yeah. No vertical mount. I haven't heard anything about that, but
I was worried about them because they can be a little bit restrictive anyway. So airflow wise,
yeah, I would say that because it does draw 600 watts. I don't necessarily know I'd recommend vertical mounting a 4090 unless you have like an open air or some sort of ventilation on the side on your
like
side
one
panel.
of those maximum sized ATX towers,
Maybe, yeah.
like the ones that are like
I would,
full
I,
2
I
feet
would,
wide.
I definitely wouldn't want something that was like right up against the glass with like this much room, like a.
I don't want that
quarter
on anything, let alone something that's catching on fire.
inch. No, this is even not. This is like the fans on the car. If you're vertical mounting it like this,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get good airflow, and your GPU is gonna get
warm,
warm. Yeah, that's one.
or like the 4090s melted.
That's just the power connector. I haven't heard of actually anything actually like a light flame. It just melted.
Yeah,
I exaggerated. I said fire, but
Yeah.
it melts. But you still don't want anything melting in your fucking
it'd
PC.
be hot enough
Absolutely.
to melt the plastic. You might get some smoke, but it's unlikely you'll actually get fire.
Yeah.
It's very rare that ever happened. It just like puff of smoke, and then it stops working.
One good thing is from this happening, AMD decided they were not going to use that connector for the
7,000.
7000 Radeon series, and they just went back to the regular supplemental power connectors. So
Good.
That's good.
They let somebody else do the testing.
That's the advantage of
Smart.
going second.
Yeah. That's also AMD. So
Well, they also got kind of bit. We'll get to it, but they got bit in the ass the other way.
yeah,
They came out with the Ryzen CPUs, and then Intel came out with the 13th gen, and we're like, aha, bitch, checkmate.
Bitch.
Yeah.
which was surprising from Intel. It's a nice move.
Yeah, it has. It was both surprising, not surprising. That's generally when that happens. When whoever releases first usually gets
Bit in the ass.
somehow.
A little bit.
Somehow, yeah.
So let's talk about the differences in the 13th gen and the 7000 series. As someone who doesn't know, because I don't keep up with it, my computer works fine until something happens that I need to know it,
So
that's when I'll look it
to me,
up.
the biggest difference, which is something I would be looking at if I was wanting to either build a new PC or upgrade my PC, 13th gen is at the end of that socket cycle. That is the last CPU that will be made for that socket.
Okay.
So,
So
you don't
you
have,
have to start buying
you
new
have
motherboards,
well, that's
basically.
the thing. So you have no upgrade path. I mean, you could go 12th gen, but then you only have one. The AMD CPUs is the start of a new socket, the AM5 socket, which will probably be around for
a good while.
a good while. AM4 socket was around for like 5 or 6 years.
And that's a good while.
That's a
in
long time.
The technology
So even
space.
if AM5 is only around for like 3 or 4 years, we're gonna get 2 more releases on it, so you'll have a bit more of an upgrade path. So
If you're not going to build a PC for, like, I would probably wait. If you're going to build like a really expensive one, if you're going to build with
cheaper parts.
cheaper parts, this is a great time.
Yes.
But if you wanted to build like top of the line stuff, I'd probably wait a while.
Let him test out the kinks first.
yeah, because that's the other thing I would say. Like AMD with a new socket, there's always kinks with a new socket and a new platform because they switched from pins on the CPU to now pins in the socket. There's just going to be weird.
I'd probably wait for the second generation of motherboards to come out with the socket.
Absolutely.
Not the first generation for the new socket, the second one for the new. So probably like 2 years from now, maybe.
Maybe even a year.
Maybe a
year and a half, something like that.
Somewhere in there. But it's going to at least be a year.
Yeah.
But
Because they'll try and get that fixed fairly quick.
yeah.
This is the same thing happened with the original Ryzen CPUs, which was they were kind of like buggy and had weird,
Well, I say 2 years because the price is going to
drop.
in the next 6 months after it's out.
Yeah.
So if you're going to want to do that and you're still wanting to do budget, but you're still wanting that top of the line stuff for the motherboards, they're going to be great in that second gen.
Yeah.
Buy them when they get a little bit cheaper though, because they're going to be rather expensive for a motherboard when they first come out.
Yes.
For the new sockets, they're going to be crazy. So,
And it's good. I mean, I always wait anyway. So when I bought my 2080 Ti, the 3000 series had been announced and was getting ready to come out because I was like, I'm going to wait until they're ready to come out to buy something.
once these new GPUs get their kinks worked out and everything, their price is going to drop too.
Yes.
And
We think.
they might go back up again. I mean,
That's my biggest problem is NVIDIA just not randomly, but they jacked the price up to COVID crypto.
Yeah, but that's because people keep buying it. As long as people keep...
they're wanting to sell them for that price. It's
Sure.
not that they're actually worth that price.
Exactly. And
But-
as long as people keep buying them at that price, they will keep selling them at that price, and
Sure.
they will even keep going up on the next generation because that's what companies do.
But I feel like they're not going to end up selling as well as they thought they were going to.
They shouldn't.
Because then AMD came out and was $600 less for a 5% difference in power and, frame rate, whatever,
Isn't it 5% better as well?
No, it's
I thought it was.
No, it's like pretty much like 5% like worse in most of the stuff. And especially anything with like RTX, like ray tracing on it.
Yeah, but we're talking like this is going to be
This
used.
is like so high end.
Yeah,
But
If you're talking a 5% difference on here, it's a big deal to you.
sure.
If you're actually looking at building this, 5% could make a big difference for you. Realistically, if you're just building one and you're going to play a game once a week, twice a week, hell, even if you play it every day, that 5% difference doesn't mean shit.
well, right now it's like saying like just for driving regularly and you're going to drive the speed limit, should I buy a Ferrari or an Aston Martin? Like, no, you probably shouldn't. But if you want the best thing, buy one of those two.
Yeah.
The difference is going to be minimal for your everyday use.
But there are like these have like real world applications in like graphics departments, like animating stuff like that, rendering footage. So if I was, head of the IT for some studio or whatever, and they're like, we need new GPUs, I'd be like, well, you could save $600 per
absolutely.
GPU and get 95% of the stuff.
The functionality is going to be minimal difference.
Yeah. But the prices. So, like, if NVIDIA would have been like, in that where they have the 4080 now, which is at like $1,100 or $1,200.
MSRP.
Yeah, MSRP. I could see it. I'd be like, all right, that's close enough. Like, it's not like the biggest difference in the world. But $600,
That's a lot.
that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Especially if you are like doing one of those studios, it's like running like game production or
They need,
video
like,
editing.
They need like 400 users, some like
Yeah.
insane
Yeah.
number, you know.
Yeah, that's 400 times 600.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even for a big studio.
Yeah.
But
So, it's just, I would hate to have to build a new computer right now.
I think it'd be relatively, as long as you weren't going, if you weren't going new gen stuff, if you
Oh yeah, like if you go
pretty,
old gen, it's fine. But
the prices have dropped considerably.
it's just, I always want the newest stuff.
That's everybody.
It's
generally does.
unfortunate because in my brain, it's if I buy the newest, it will last me the longest because I won't have to upgrade
It's
later
generally
down
true.
the line. What's better to do is to buy cheaper and then upgrade after those newer, like what the 4000 series right now. After a few years, if you bought a 2000 series, you should buy the 4000 series, and that'll catch you up. And then you should keep going that route.
Yeah.
Is the cheapest way to do it,
Generally, yeah.
and probably the best way to do it, honestly.
And
'cause-
I have a 2070, and I'm
Yeah, we all-
probably going to wait for the.
Yeah, we all have 2000 series graphics cards here.
I thought yours was 3.
So it's 2060.
Oh, I could have swore it was a 3060.
I was thinking about getting one.
Somebody has one.
Jamie? Nope.
No, it's not Jamie.
He has a 1660.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sean?
Has a 1080 Ti.
Don't know then.
couldn't tell you.
Andy.
Maybe it is Andy.
Oh, Andy was talking about he was going to buy
Yeah,
one.
That was it.
I don't know if he
That
built
was
it yet or not, but
Yeah, but I don't see the point of it personally. When the
Well, Andy was building from scratch, so that made more sense
the
to me.
2K
Yes.
series is phenomenal, and their
Yeah.
prices aren't bad right now.
I run 1440p, and
The difference between the 2000 and the 3000 series is less than 5%.
It's not enough to.
No,
to warrant buying it.
it's less than the difference between these two, and these two are in the same era.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no point in buying the 3000 series. I never really thought there was. They're nice, but they're not that nice.
Yeah.
But the 4000s look like they've really kicked it up a notch.
If you can run it.
Yeah. If
The
you've got-
problem is you have to start from scratch.
Pretty
Building.
much. Like it would be very difficult to just take a existing system that
And add
was
a
3 or 4
4090.
years old and throw a 3090 in it. You'd have to replace PSU.
Yeah.
Probably. You're probably going to replace the motherboard anyway at that point, but you'd have to replace a bunch of shit in it to get it up
And
to spec.
CPU, more than likely, unless
Yeah.
you already have one of the best CPUs, because then you're going to bottleneck yourself. And
Again, wait for the new CPU slots.
Yeah.
Is what I would do.
absolutely, I'll probably build one and save it on my PC part picker for years and never actually build it.
Just look at it, love it from a distance.
So 13th gen, I know you mentioned, we may already talk about this and I may just be having a stroke. 13th gen versus the Ryzen 7. So they changed the socket, and I know you had said something along the lines of Intel came out after AMD with
After they had announced prices and everything and clock speeds and stuff like that. Essentially, Intel was basically beating AMD on all the graphics they show, which is all,
skewed.
skewed to be biased towards them. But in general, it does look like it's still a better. It's not. It used to be AMD was a better value buy, but because AMD raised the price on the 7600 to like $300, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, yeah, it's $300. Used to be that was the entry level CPU. Used to be about $200, which was a better value than whatever Intel come out with. Now, Intel is the better value if you're wanting a budget CPU
For gaming.
for gaming. You would buy like a 13400 or something. You got 13400K or something like that
Yeah.
for much cheaper, which they haven't come out yet. But even the 13600K is $319.
Which is not,
It's $20 higher,
yeah. I mean, it's
And
not
it's-
terrible for,
better than the 7600.
yeah. And that's the thing. If you use Intel, which I know we talked about this on the other build of PC, Intel's better for gaming because it runs single core, and that's what most of your games run
Yeah.
off of. AMD's better for
Multi-
like everyday multitasking use.
Games aren't doing that as much as they used to.
They're not, but
No. But if you're running
a lot
like,
of them are.
like Minecraft, yeah, you want the big single core. But
And who's not running Minecraft?
everybody's running Minecraft.
I'll be playing another game and I have Minecraft running in the background. I got two monitors, one for Minecraft, one for my other games.
Built this $3,000 computer, and what am I going to play?
RuneScape.
Minecraft and RuneScape. I did play RuneScape the other day.
I'm going to play Skyrim for the 17th time.
Yeah. So, that's generally like AMD lost the value battle this generation.
Because it's so close. It's not even that you can't get the AMD cheaper.
You can, but Intel will have a cheaper chip whenever they release it with a 13400K or of 100.
That's the first time that's happened in a long time.
Absolutely.
AMD has been the value buy for like years, like 6, 7, 8 years.
Almost a decade, yeah.
Been forever. As long as they've had Ryzen, they've pretty much been the better value buy. They were like 10 to 5 to 10% lower in performance in games, but they were $100, $150 cheaper per level usually. But now they've
and the other thing you can do with games, as far as like if the difference really bothers you,
it's just lower your quality.
Yeah, lower your quality, or
that's what I did in Spider-Man.
If you're like, oh, I need 1440, don't get 1440, get 1080, and then everything will run at however fucking fast you want it.
I had Spider-Man, I had it at the high setting, and I was like, I'm getting like just under like 100 frames. I'm like, I was like, well, I have a 144 hertz monitor, so I'm like, all right, let me just drop it down and see if I get.
I know, it's just funny to me that you were like, it's high, but it's not over 100. I don't like it.
Well, I was more like a curiosity, like, okay, what do I have to be? And it was like the second, which I think is high or something.
That is something like a lot of people who don't have a computer, who are looking for a computer or just got into PC thing, they don't change their resolutions, and they're wondering why it's like, why am I only at 35 FPS? Well, it's because your resolution's set to, I don't know,
ultra high.
Ultra high. Set it down a little bit. FPS is more important than resolution.
Absolutely.
And like at that point, I couldn't tell the difference between ultra and high.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
It's
know.
really small.
Yeah.
Other thing about that, though, where was I going to go with that? Oh, NVIDIA has it's GeForce Center is what it's called, and it will actually recommend it. Yeah. So you can go in, as long as you have opened up that game and started it to where you can get to the settings, you can control, like it will put recommended settings.
It's really
Sometimes
nice.
they're not always the best settings, because I know like with Atlas, it recommended way higher settings than what I should have had, so I always had to go in and tweak that.
Atlas is the definition of spaghetti code, though, so it doesn't even run that well, even on good systems.
The other thing with that is a lot of games have so many settings that you have to go in and change. It's hard for some people to realize.
Like, even in Spider-Man, I was just like, there's like ray tracing, shadows, all this. I'm like, I don't know what any of this does. Turn it all off. What it gets me the highest frame rates. I don't want any of this stuff on.
And some people aren't like that. Some people are like, I want it to look the best as it can while it still runs as good as it can. There's a fine line that a lot of people like to ride. I'm one of those people. I always use the GeForce Center, and
well, if you're there's things you can do outside of GPU purchases to boost your graphics anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, strictly having a good monitor. I mean,
if you have a 720p monitor, it ain't gonna do you much good to get it.
It's gonna look like shit no matter what.
Yeah, make sure it's got a good refresh rate.
Good refresh rate. It's got good color balance.
Make sure that your refresh rate is set on your computer.
I just bought a new monitor this past week. Black Friday sales. It was really good, actually. I think it was like $200 off. It's like 240 hertz. Oh man! I immediately plugged my Switch into it.
Which I'm pretty sure is
not even can't even handle
I plugged my Switch into it so I could get 12 frames a second.
Playing Pokemon.
Well, actually, I plugged it in first thing, and the first thing I did was I watched the last episode of Andor, and it was fantastic. It was so good, man. No, so monitor's really good. Your storage speed, like the connection between your storage and your CPU, is
important.
really important for graphics quality. Your FPS will maybe not double. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not a shoot from 60 to 120, but it's gonna go maybe
It'll jump
20 to 40% higher, just because your storage speed is that much quicker.
Yeah, you're off of a hard drive onto M.2.
Yeah, make sure that you're not below a certain RAM thing, which we're gonna get to RAM here in a second, but
Yep.
and don't use DDR3 RAM because it's
so
Ethan knows that from
outdated.
experience.
it's still out there. You can still buy.
It's so weird
I don't even know why they do that.
because there's people that still have it and just want to add to their.
Yeah.
There's people running 8 somewhere and
Yeah.
they're like, let me go to 16.
I want that 2010 feel.
You know what I'd like to do? Play on a potato today.
I do love potatoes.
Who doesn't love potatoes?
Actually, I'm not really that big on potatoes.
What the fuck?
Disrespectful.
Piece of shit.
And potatoes with cheese, especially. I don't want cheese on my potatoes.
Sir,
I don't like cheesy potatoes.
there's the door.
Cheese
the fuck
belongs on macaroni.
It does, but you can put cheese on all kinds.
Cheese belongs
Hamburger?
on everything.
Cheese does not belong on everything.
It doesn't belong on everything. I'm with him
certainly
on
doesn't
that.
belong on that 4090.
You could cook
You'd
them.
melt it, but
You can make a grilled cheese.
you
on
probably
that
make a
sumbitch.
grilled cheese on there.
Scramble some eggs.
Get that GPU sandwich.
That burnt rubber taste.
Oh, God. It's
Burnt plastic.
It's just like Kraft Singles.
Like, is this Kraft Singles or is this,
This is my computer.
yeah, tastes weird.
It's Gouda. Oh, so you got wrote down Intel ARC GPUs.
The ARC GPUs, yeah.
Yeah, what are them? I got no idea.
So Intel decided, you know what, fuck it. NVIDIA's in the GPU space. AMD's in the GPU space.
Oh, God damn it.
We're going to be in the GPU space. They're mid at best.
It's their first go at
First
it.
go at it. They're good for, I've heard they're good for streaming. Because they're really good at encoding and stuff like that. So they're really good if you have like a second PC to stream.
Like put them.
Throw one of those in that.
Gotcha.
'Cause-
Jamie,
and they're
take notes.
And they're pretty cheap. They're like 200, like the lower one's like 240 or something like that. I forget.
Oh, that's interesting.
They're
290.
fast.
Yeah.
They're fast. They don't have a lot of load capacity.
Yeah.
They're fast.
But
They can't really like, you couldn't game really, really, really good on them. I mean, I'm sure they're like, equivalent to a 60 series NVIDIA card or a 50 or maybe a 50 series or something like that. So you're like,
Yeah. They're probably
They're
more
lower
than
end-
acceptable.
yeah, they're lower
more
end
than acceptable.
GPUs, but they're really, it seems like they stumbled onto the better use case for them is just for encoding and using in streaming PCs
Well,
because
hey.
they're cheaper.
They'll probably lean into that
Yeah.
going forward. I would.
So far, they've only released 2. They're planning on releasing more, so they might have like a upper end.
Higher end.
It's actually really promising for like server GPUs because of the encoding on it is just it's really neat and it's makes it work
Better.
better, goodly.
Do good better.
Yeah. But it's really interesting because so many people run servers like
I do goo, boss.
like where we used to work. They run those servers. Having a GPU on there that has better encoding is just going to make multiple accesses on that server a lot faster.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's where that's interesting me, not for gaming.
No, not for gaming, but it's like,
It'd
For
be good
actual
to-
professional use, excellent.
Gotcha.
and they might eventually, look, competition's always good. If they think AMD and NVIDIA are slacking, fucking catch them unaware and stab them some bitches in the throat.
If they can increase their actual capacity
Yeah.
and keep that speed quality, they'll be top of the line
Yeah.
very soon.
So we already talked about the PSUs and your odd connectors. So let's just jump into the DDR5.
It's standard now, pretty much. Well, technically, with 13 gen Intel, you can still buy a DDR4 motherboard.
Yeah. Because it'll still use the same socket as the
So you
others.
say,
but-
as 12th gen, and 12th, and that I think it's the LGA 1700 socket. You have to watch which motherboard you're buying because they have both DDR4 and DDR5 motherboards.
So you got to watch that. Then you also you have to watch what RAM you buy.
Yeah.
It also helps to be on PC Part Picker because you can
it'll
enable
tell you.
compatibility. It will literally tell you, hey, this won't work.
AMD just said, fuck it, we're not supporting AM or DDR4 anymore with this new socket. It's strictly DDR5.
That's fine.
And I think
I'm okay with that.
99% sure Intel said that their next socket will be DDR5 only. So.
That's fine with me.
Were you into PC building when they switched over from DDR3 to DDR4?
No, we was like right in the
The
middle.
difference was astronomical.
You look at the transfer. Like I don't know. I haven't looked up any like comparisons, but like DDR5 is twice as fast. It's it's twice as fast. It's like the base for DDR5 RAM is like 5600 megahertz mega transfers
versus like 3600
Yeah.
for DDR4, and
Yeah.
that's a higher end. Like 3000, I think is base.
3000 or 32.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, whichever one. It's something like that. But it's like
I know 32 is like the most common that you see, but 3000 you can get 3000 on DDR4.
So like
If
they're
you're
fast.
If you're currently using DDR4 and you're needing to upgrade parts, stay away from getting a new motherboard right now.
Yeah.
It's the same problem with, that's my main advice for the DDR5. If you're using DDR4 and you want to upgrade to DDR5, wait for the new CPU chips because you're going to be so upset 2 years after you make it that you're going to have to buy a whole new system.
Yeah.
Just to upgrade your CPU.
So really, I guess we shouldn't title this as Build a PC in 2023. We should title this as Build a PC not in 2023.
Build a PC in 2024.
Yeah.
More like, yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's a recurring theme that we keep saying is like, just
Well,
wait because
That's what happens every time they switch their
Every time they switch their
sockets,
setup.
their CPU sockets. It's always best to wait.
Yeah, you never want to be a first adopter.
Oh,
generally,
absolutely,
unless you're like
unless you're just real ballsy, don't care about your
if
shit.
you're one of
really.
those people that's like likes to be on the bleeding edge of tech, sure, go for it. But you also should then be aware of problems that happen when you're on the bleeding edge of tech, which is a lot of instability and failures
Liquid metal.
and liquid metal.
It's not good.
No.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the checkups.
Yeah.
We're going to check up on the prices of stuff in the GPU market and the CPU market. Jared's got it all pulled up on his phone.
Only one of us did our homework for this.
Exactly.
And it wasn't me.
It was not me either.
Only one of us needed to do their homework.
I
That's
can't
right.
read, so
Yeah.
of course it's not going to be me.
I don't know anything about numbers.
You shut your fucking mouth. I know who your father is.
Yeah, but I got confused in the algebra stuff. Like, is
Mr.
A a
Son of-
number?
They-
Is B a number?
They
X?
started adding letters to that shit, and I was like, fuck it, I'm out.
God, I don't even know.
That's not true. I took calculus.
I took every math class I could in college, and then I dropped out.
Too much math.
No, I loved it. No, that was the only thing I wanted to take.
So,
He ran out of math and was like, I'm going.
yeah.
I'm done now.
I don't know what checkup. Like, do you guys have any?
Well, do you have...
I don't really want to read off. I don't want to spout off a bunch of fucking numbers at people and be like,
No, okay, so let's do...
You asked
Do you
me.
have a 2080 Ti on there?
No.
Of course not. Bitch. What about
I could guess.
let's do 3070?
A 3070?
Yeah.
Secondhand, which, that's up to you.
Not for me.
Not for me
It's
either.
kind of,
I want a warranty. There's a reason I buy EVGA.
after the
I don't want sloppy seconds.
Yeah, let's talk
the
about that too.
minor, the crypto crash, eBay and everything got flooded. So, you can find some good deals. It's just kind of like buyer beware. They may only last 6 months.
It's really, really not a good time to buy secondhand cards right now.
No.
Really
I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying if you're one of them budget people that are like, I'm going to try and get the most budget. I don't give a shit if it breaks in 6 months or doesn't arrives and it's already broken.
Oh, man.
I would say at least buy it on eBay
How
because they
mad I
have
would
buyer
be.
protection. So if you buy it and it sucks and it's broken, you can get your money back.
True. Especially through Amazon. Amazon's really good
Or
about
Amazon, yeah.
that.
So a 3070 secondhand, $360.
It's cheap.
It's cheap. I mean, that's
Probably going to break in a month. But
that's about what I got my 2060 for. I think I got my 2060 for like $310.
yeah. But you also bought yours during a ridiculous time.
No, I bought it right before crypto went
Oh,
up.
was it right before? I
It was in like April of 2020.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like right before it went up. Like I built my PC at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Right before everything went right to fucking shit.
Everywhere.
But, yeah, if you want to buy one, just for off Amazon or somewhere, they start around like $500. It depends what's in stock. Which, if you go for Founders Edition, if you go for a board partner, whatever, some board partners are cheaper. Like Zotac's usually generally cheaper.
Yeah, Zotac's cheaper.
But
EVGA is usually higher.
Yeah. Because if you try and go get like an EVGA for the Win 3 card,
it's going to be high.
That's the top of the line.
That's the highest card they have. It
Generally.
has 3 fans.
Yeah.
It's
a 3-fan card.
Unless it's the hybrid version that has the actual cooler with it.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've found that's higher.
EVGA is not going to be doing anymore.
No.
That was new between our last episode.
Sure. Yeah, we didn't mention that.
We were
Yeah,
going
they
to talk
said,
about that
fuck
after
NVIDIA.
this.
Oh, we were? I did not know that.
I was going to bring it up.
But they still have 3070s out there in the wild.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
not making 4000 series. But yeah.
Yeah, they're just not doing 4,000.
Yeah.
Which is
So
sad. Also do a 3090 Ti. Do a top of the line 3090 Ti, and then we'll do 4080 and 4090 Ti, and then jump into the AMD
again,
ones.
secondhand, you can find for like $1,000. I don't know if I'd recommend that.
No, I think 1,000
Yeah.
is high for secondhand on that card.
Well,
Yeah.
you can only find, MSRP, not MSRP, but actually on the market, $1,400. So it's kind of like just depends.
I would rather buy new.
Yeah.
In that case, like $400 difference, I get a warranty. It's brand new, never been used.
Allegedly.
It's been used for testing, but shouldn't have been used very much.
Which 3090 Ti's, I believe they came out with like low hash rate cards.
Yes.
They didn't have like a different, so they weren't really used as much as
Yes.
for crypto. That was mostly your high hash rate 3080s.
Yes. 3080s and like 3090s, I think. I want to say the TIs did come out lower, but I could be wrong. Then do a, fuck it, let's just go balls to the wall. Do a 4090. Tell me what that's supposed to go for.
$1,600.
So
That's MSRP. We looked it up. It's actually more close to like $2,400-$2,500.
yeah, I seen anywhere a Founders Edition was 3,300.
Yeah.
The just regular, it was a Zotac was 2,400.
Yeah.
So that was your cheaper card.
Just, looking at the past with the 3000 series, what do you expect the 4090, which is what I'm really interested in, to be?
In a year or 2 years?
Well, I mean, when it comes out,
It's out.
It's out. Yeah.
The 4080?
4080s. The 4080. Yeah.
4080 is what I'm asking.
You said
'Cause
4090, but yeah.
You
Because
say 40.
usually for gaming, people usually skip the 90s and they just go for the 80s because they're usually a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, 4080 came out last week or the 16th.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
You can buy a gigabyte on Amazon right now for $1,450. It's on sale. Typically $1,539.
That's not terrible.
It's
to be
MSRP
honest.
is $1,200, so that's not the worst gouging I've seen.
What's the onboard RAM for the
16.
4080?
16.
16? That's not bad either. No. It's not 24, which is
What the 4090 has, but
yeah.
I hope we don't get to the point where we have to have that much onboard RAM on our graphics card.
Yeah, it looks like for the most part they're around $1,400 to $1,700.
So just the casual 30% markup from MSRP.
Oh, this one, this 4080 has 24.
Oh, there probably is a.
It's an MSI,
Oh yeah, they added some.
but it's $1,700.
I won't buy MSI. Screw that company.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So CPUs.
Mhm.
Give me a like fucking i9.
The
Like,
i9
yeah,
for
like-
13th gen,
Yeah,
$589.
that's a fucking lot.
That's about normal though for an
I know
i9.
it is about normal for an i9, which is top of the line.
And it's cheaper than the competitor for AMD
Is it? That's
by about
unfortunate.
That's weird.
$120.
Wow.
That's
really strange.
Yeah, that's
it-
what happens when they
It's like
went up.
Twilight Zone.
the world is changing and I don't like it. And as we brought up, EVGA will no longer be making the 4,000 or will no longer be making graphics cards.
Yeah, as of the 4000.
As of the
The
4,000
last will be
series,
the 3000.
which is so fucking sad because I love EVGA.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I have power supply. I've bought 2 power supplies and 2 graphics cards from EVGA, and I love them both. Their customer service has always been great. If I've had any issues, I have not had any issues.
They'll still be making PSUs.
outside of your
though.
computer
Yeah, they
catching
would-
on or getting struck by
Yeah,
lightning.
but there's nothing that That's not an EVGA thing. I guess I should have probably been like, hey, can I warranty this?
Probably should have, but you didn't. Oh well.
I think technically it was out of warranty, but
Always don't. Doesn't hurt to try.
no, I probably should have
Just takes time.
Should have
from-
tried.
just to see.
Yeah.
but,
I didn't.
yeah.
I wanted to upgrade though. I didn't want a 980 Ti.
But you could have got it and sold it.
Yeah, but
Or kept it. And then,
I still don't think I'll ever buy a power supply that's not EVGA. It's
no.
just they're always just
They're great.
yeah.
They're
I will.
not necessarily. They're not the cheapest.
I don't have an EVGA power supply. I have a thermal take.
You bitch.
Those are still good company. I mean,
Go if you're buying when you're buying power supplies, go to the Linus Tech Tips forum thread for the PSU grades. That's generally what I follow. You want like a B or an A somewhere in there.
I've always bought EVGA,
Yeah.
and I think I'll keep doing that because I like them.
I do too.
And I'm
And
sad,
when
though.
comparing watts to price, EVGA is not bad with the rest of the companies.
That's the thing. Though, like blanketly, no one company is like great or perfect. Like I'm sure EVGA sells a shitty power supply.
Oh yeah, they have a
have-
bronze.
yeah.
They have
You
a
still
bronze.
gotta do your homework a little bit, but
Yeah, you have to pay attention whenever you're buying it because they have different ones that are like bronze, silver, gold, diamond. I think is one of
Platinum.
them. Platinum maybe.
titanium, platinum,
That's it.
or platinum, titanium, whichever way. I forget.
Yeah. So you have to pay attention to those because it's kind of a quality thing in that. Like you can get a bronze 1000 watt cheaper than you can get a.
And it also might blow up.
Well, I
and you
mean,
get a gold
I'm
850
not
or whatever.
into burning my house down.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. So there's certain things that you should 100% spend the money on.
Yeah.
Power supply is one of them.
because it's a safety thing at
Yes.
at certain points, especially if you're getting into high wattages. Like
Yes.
if you're gonna get the 4090,
If you want to get a 4090 and an i9, you're looking at like a 1200 watt PSU.
Jesus.
yeah, but you want to get that gold or above,
Not that, but like you just need the sheer wattage
right?
to handle the spikes. Like
But
you know,
I would say be careful. Don't cheap out on that bronze because this whole system's going to cost a lot if you get that.
yeah, don't cheap out on that.
Yeah,
you-
don't cheap out on your power
If you
supply.
do a 1200 watt system,
That's what a system integrator would do. That's what every one of them does. They get you a shitty power supply and a shitty motherboard, unless it's an aftermarket motherboard.
Yeah.
but most of
Yeah.
them.
it just you don't want to burn it up. You don't want to spend all that money and then literally set it on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I don't. Fuck.
If you've got the money to spend and you got a house that you don't care about,
And you just want some insurance. I mean,
just yeah.
the housing market's kind of fucking crazy right now.
It is.
You burn down your actual $100,000 house and they say it's worth $300,000. You're coming out ahead.
Seems suspicious.
May want to leave this off the episode.
No, it's staying. By the time it comes
It's called
out,
evidence, man.
I'm not burning down my house.
What if I wanted to burn mine down?
Or me.
Yours
Well,
is old enough. If you burn it down, it probably just happened.
I did.
Mine's older than that, so
All right, let's wrap everything up. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. If you want to talk to me and Ethan, you can find us on Discord at anchor.fm/chaotically nerdy. There's also a link to that Discord in this episode description.
and if you want to talk to Jarrett, you can find him at his house.
It's
You
true.
will have to physically find it, though.
Where's Waldo, bitches?
It's not hard to find because he's usually always there.
Yeah.
And using the Anchor link, you can also find our Facebook page to where you can get updates to our episode. And that's about it. Hey, we're on TikTok too.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was sad.
We got two. Why was that sad? What do
What?
you mean that was sad?
I didn't say that.
It's sad that we're on TikTok. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? It's free advertisement.
I'm too old for that crap.
No, you're not.
That's false. There's plenty of old people on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. There are a lot of
There's a
old people
fucking
on there.
grandmother that goes around making fun of people.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can find it and show you because you'll love it.
Yeah, I want to see that.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Deuce.
I love you.